and our running back coach couldn't touch the ball. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Well, you're not ready? No.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Martin Houston live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a Wednesday edition of the Martin Houston Show. So a wild card Wednesday with a little guidance thrown in. Love to invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. Give us a call. Let us know what you're thinking on this wild card Wednesday. My toss up for you today is Coach for a Day. As Coach for a Day, love to continue. We started a little bit, but we didn't get finished. Kind of what's your grade or your evaluation of the Alabama Crimson Tide halfway through the regular season? If you were the coach, what changes would you make? And as the coach, what's your biggest concerns right now, week 7 of the college football season? What would be your grade and evaluation? What would be the changes you would look to make potentially this week? And what are your major concerns that you need to fix? We'll also have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries, joining us in the fourth quarter. As this week, we'll highlight the characters of champions, dealing with the character and speak on the character of diligence. So we'll be talking about that. Maybe that's something that the Alabama Crimson Tide can buy into as well. Will Anderson saying that there need to be some buy-in from the team. So we may hear from him a little later on in the program as well. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Joe.
Or no, we doing?
Doing good. Now, I heard that there's a rumor going around that one of our interns went out on a limb and picked Texas A&M, and today she's rubbing it in our face. Is that true?
Well, not only did she pick it, but she had she put her money where her mouth is. She went out to College Station to watch it. So she's coming back in and enjoying being right.
Yeah, and not only she went out there, but she purchased a shirt to and this is, and by the way, just so y'all know, this is a Bama fan. This is not a Texas A&M fan that's hiding in Crimson Country. So, congratulations, Michaela, on getting it right. I think. Now, of course, Michaela, have you had any of your friends say anything to you on campus, or what's kind of been the reaction to you since you nailed it?
I've actually saved this shirt just for today, just for the station mostly. Several of my family members and Facebook friends are not happy, but I told them, I said, hey, this is the game. This is the Texas A&M team I thought I was going to see a few weeks, but hey, I'm just so glad I got it right, because I really did not want to apologize, but I would have apologized anyway if Bama came up with the win, but it was awesome in College Station. Cannot explain how awesome that scene was in Calfield, especially being on the very, very last row at the top.
So you were almost back in Tuscaloosa.
Oh yeah, I thought, I was like, are they trying to put me on the edge here? Like, what more are they getting?
That I said it when Texas A&M joined the league, the SEC. I said this will be the team that will challenge Alabama, because to me they have everything you would want, Joe, Michaela, if you're going to challenge the University of Alabama and dethrone them. They have the money. They have the alumni base. They have they didn't have the facilities at the time, but they were committed to getting the facilities. They have the recruiting base. I mean, and they just haven't, been able to put it all together. And I don't know that Jimbo Fisher, and I said, I give him kudos for this week. He put it together an unbelievable game plan. Kind of makes me wonder. And I ask you guys, do you think that A&M kind of did what Saban did? And you guys may or may not know this, but when Saban lost to Florida that first year in the SEC championship game, some of the players said that they did a little bit of Florida every day. I mean, in some little drill, some little way, they were preparing for Florida. And by the time they got back to Florida and Urban Meyer, they were ready for them. And that's what that seemed like Saturday. A&M, and did that potentially cost him those other two games offensively? Did he feel that he could run what he wanted to run against Alabama, against those other teams, and be effective, and it didn't work? Or did it just all click for the quarterback, and or a combination of both?
I mean, probably a combination of both. I think that I definitely think it clicked with the quarterback for sure. But I also agree that Jimbo was probably folding things in, and it was an important game to him, especially with all the chatter in the offseason.
Yeah, and so I think he got what he needed to potentially could. I guess, let me see. We'll always look back at that La Monroe loss as what changed things for Nick Saban and finally got him the buy-in he needed from his program to take on this new process. I don't think Jimbo was struggling with buy-in. I think Jimbo was struggling with these players believing they could do it. Could this be his La Monroe off of a win type of game that flips this program? Because do you agree or disagree that Texas A&M is a school that has everything to rival Alabama consistently year in and year out if they, get what they need from the coaching staff and the talent?
Oh yeah, definitely think A&M's got all the elements of a successful program. I honestly think that Alabama might be fortunate to bring in Texas into the SEC to kind of put a dent into their into their grip on the state. But yeah, I think that A&M certainly has what it takes.
I think Texas and Oklahoma coming in helps Alabama uh,
Yeah.
in a huge way. I think, because if Texas A&M wins this game, and you're looking forward, and Jimbo is going in and saying, "Hey, you don't have to go to Alabama to win. We are on par with Alabama." Now that message has some validity to it. But now Texas is saying, "Hey, we're coming. You want to be a part of it? We'll be there in 2 years or a year, so you just be 1 year outside of that." And Oklahoma saying the same thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's get to Curtis. Curtis Lewis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin. Hey, my first thing I would start with is I'm gonna give our team a B- grade.
Okay.
So far for the season.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make some changes though.
Okay, you're the coach for the. In case you missed it, Curtis is the coach for the day. So he's grading his team. We're a B-, and now what? What's next?
course, I'm going to fire Pete Golden for Carl because he sucks. So he's out.
Pete Golden's out.
Kelly's going to be my defensive coordinator for the remainder of the season.
Charles Kelly, former Florida State coordinator. Okay.
Yep. And I'm going to probably, and then, of course, at the end of the year, we'll evaluate where we're at on that point of it. I'm going to put Roach on notice. I better see improvement. But you're going to be out there with Pete.
Okay.
With defense.
Okay.
I'm going to bring in a package for Milrose. It's going to come in at the very next game. Because when I get to the red zone again, I'm not doing all this, throw the ball around. Let's see if we can make a balloon out of it. We're going to pound it.
Okay.
Until you stop us, then we'll throw it.
Okay.
That's the next one. Then, of course, Chris Owens going to the bench. He's going to be sitting on the bench. He's on the far end of the bench. I don't even want to see him. You on the bench. And down there with him is going to be Toa. He's going to the bench, too.
Ouch.
And I'm going to bring Jalen Moody in for that position. Because our middle linebackers are as soft as sharp. Doesn't make any sense to be that soft.
Oh, wow.
And Harris, he's going to still be in there, but he's going to be on notice, too. I better see at least one head rattle. Otherwise, you're going to be over there with Toa. If you're going to tackle people with your little arms and untying their shoestrings to bring them down, you're going to the bench. Because we need somebody to be an intimidator in that middle. I don't want teams coming up there and making 10 and 15-yard runs straight up the gut. That makes no sense. And, of course, DJ Fluff is going to be on the bench, too. And he's going to be sitting there. And I'm going to bring Jamil Burrows in. And I'm probably going to take DJ Fluffy's scholarship anyway. So,
oh, wow. Oh, wow. So you're hard nosed. Let me ask you this question. The only question I ask you out of that is, would you potentially look at Chris Owens at center versus the bench? And who would you put in at that right tackle if you're putting Owens on the bench? Which guy do you go with, George, or do you go with Latham?
I'm going with Latham over there on that right tackle. I'm going to have George backing him up. I would not have Chris Owens as my center either, because we had the same problem with him as far as hiking the ball all over the place during practice. So he's probably not going to beat my center. Also, when he played center last year to spell out Dickerson, he got no push at all. I mean, that middle of the pocket was just as cloudy as it could be. So he didn't set the pocket with the flip as a center. So he's not going to be my center. I'll bring up the other kid.
Let me ask you one other question because he's really, I think he's, to me, he's not playing as well as he did last year, and that's right guard Ekiyor. I mean, does he need to be pushed, or is he what's going on with that?
Yeah, Ekiyor surprised me because I expected more out of him.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to put him on the bench also.
You gonna bring in who?
Quick in.
Okay. All right. You going with a youth? You're going with a youth movement on the offense and an old man movement on the defense. So, I'm gonna let you go after this. Any changes to the secondary from a player standpoint or wide receivers?
I'm gonna change. Of course, I'm gonna put Mitchie on the bench. I'm gonna put Clay Bolden on the bench, and he's gonna probably get his scholarship taken too. He's going to the bench also.
Curtis, you're just gonna start the season over. You're making a move to be ready for next year. So are you giving up on the Tide this year?
No, I'm not giving up on them at all. It's just that I know that at the team that I currently have on the field is not going to beat Georgia.
Okay.
We know that's not going to happen with that team. So I got to make the change. It's the same thing that Saban done in the championship game in 2017. It's no different. He knew we weren't going to beat Georgia with the team he had on the field. So next thing you know, you see Najee and you see Tua in there. You see Leatherwood at the top. You put your best players on the field and let them go for it. And that's what I want to do now. Put my best players out there. They make a mistake, learn from it, and let's move forward.
All right.
Because you're inferior.
All right. That's Coach Lewis making changes. So thanks, Curtis. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. All right. All right, Ellis and Robert, hold on, guys, through the break. We'll get your changes in. Coach Lewis making a whole scale change. I'm surprised they got a B- with that many changes. So special teams must be doing pretty good. Running backs and quarterback, I guess, was playing at a high enough level. I don't think we had any changes there. But we'll continue the conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show. You can be a part of that conversation. Thanks to the great folks over at Taco Casa. Taco Casa quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. Go check them out for lunch and or dinner. Under the biggest cactus in town, tacocasa.com.
Full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably warm today, partly to mostly sunny with a high at 87. For tonight, mostly fair, the low at 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high 88. Friday, partly sunny during the day, a chance of showers Friday night, the high 85. I'm James Spain on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 86 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Right now.
Well, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We got a coach for a day, and if you missed it, Curtis Lewis is going with the youth movement, changing out B-. If you're the coach of the day, he gave the Crimson Tide a B-. What's your grade evaluation? What changes would you make, and what are your concerns? Let's get to Ellis. He's been patiently waiting. Ellis from Tennessee, what's on your mind, sir? Ellis, you still there?
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
All right, sorry about that. No, I just literally crying about the game, about Alabama losing, and then turn around and picked against them when we had score prediction. And I just couldn't understand that. So
someone picked Alabama to lose 2 games in a row.
Yes. Two people called in and was, they've been crying and moaning about the loss and everything, and then turn around and picked them to lose against Mississippi State.
Lose against the spread or lose outright?
Lose outright.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting take. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they need to have their fan card taken away from them.
Not man card, but fan card.
Yeah, fan card. Bama fan card.
They need
to have it come out of their pocket. I'd never pick against my team. Never.
Ellis, I don't know that I have picked Alabama to lose a game. I did question a couple times when they were facing Clemson. And I picked a conditional win, but I don't know that I have picked in the last few years against Alabama to lose. But I'm gonna tell you, I'd be hard pressed unless I see something different. If this Alabama team wins out, but still have some of the same concerns, I do think that I would pick Georgia reluctantly in the SEC championship game if they're still having trouble covering the tight end and the running back out the backfield. If we're still getting pressure off of Chris Owens on the edge, I would have to just swallow my crimson colored glasses, step on them, crush them, and then swallow my pride and probably go with the red and black of Georgia at this point. But I believe Nick Saban will use this much like he's used other losses in the past. La Monroe, Ole Miss 2 years in a row. The Auburn game. I mean, he just sometimes you need something like this to happen. You don't want it to happen, but you can maximize it, and I think he will.
He coaches better when he loses, I think, when he's had a loss. But that you're talking about the tight ends. We've had 2 tight ends that has burn us. The Southern Miss tight end burn us all day long, and then we had one Saturday night at burn.
Well, and the Florida tight end had a good game against us as well. He wasn't an elite tight end, but he had a good game for his talent. You got anything else for us before I let you go?
I just want, coach of the day. I don't want to fire nobody because I think that'll make matters worse. I'd put the ones that needs to be on notice, and I would make some changes in the players to see if that might help the team come to life.
What coaches would you put on notice? What coaches would you put on notice?
Freddie Roach.
Okay.
The special team coach and the defensive coordinator.
Okay. All right. What about which players would you look to make a change with?
Some of our linebackers.
Okay. Okay.
There's no alpha dog back there. That's our problem.
All right. Well, LSU, I mean, in some ways, not as in depth, but got some of the same changes as Curtis. We appreciate that, man. Keep things down in Tennessee. I know that if they fool around and win again this week against who they got, I know they're starting to feel it and talk about it because that offense is rolling. So we'll make sure we get your thoughts next week on Tennessee as well. Thanks, Ellis.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll be down there for that game, too.
All right. Safe travels down. All right. Let's get to Robert from Mobile. Robert has been patiently waiting. Robert, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. You're the coach of the day. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, like you said earlier, Curtis he did such a good job with it. It's hard to top anything that he said. So detailed but he wanted to get rid of everybody. I wouldn't quite do that much, but a lot of his things he said, I definitely would do.
Okay.
The grade wasn't too low with a B minus. Like you guys said the other day, what other team would you take over at this Alabama team other than Georgia? If that's the case, well, it can't be a B minus. Maybe an A minus.
Yeah. Now is that B? Is that B minus with us against what our standard is, or a B minus compared to the rest of the country? And that's where the problem is. We grade against 12-0. We grade against, national champions and perfection versus against reality a lot of times. But go ahead.
Well, right. I'm sure that's the case. But of course, you don't have to be the best team of all time in college and football, period. You said to be the best team this year.
Right.
But okay, all righty. Yeah, and like the guy said, if somebody actually picked Mississippi State to beat Alabama, come on now. Okay. We just be minus team at that point. All right, go. That's really way overreacting on. I would definitely go looking at the linebacker for it because we just don't have the high motor with our linebacker. And sometimes when they tackle, it almost looks like they're tackling out to get hurt versus to get the man to the ground. Yeah. With the angles they take sometimes, with them sticking their arms out. So it's like we aren't seeing any toughness there. But Moody sometimes brings more toughness. So I would like him to see the field more. It's really beginning to be surprising how Toto can come in here and take over a lot of guys' spots who's been here. And with when he got into the transfer portal, when I'm not seeing anything now we saw when he was at Tennessee. So it's really stunning that how's this guy the main man in the linebacking core with but okay, I don't know if the play calling is too complicated. If that's the case, goodness gracious, then we need to change the coordinator or do something. Our defense is so complicated that nobody can run it. And when you see other teams run better defenses, what does that tell you?
You maybe need to simplify it. Hey, and I guess the question I had, would the linebacker core with the two guys we thought not only did we think we were going to have one alpha dog, we thought we were going to have two with Toa. Has that been the disappointment of the 2021 season so far? And how do you explain? I mean, I watched Toa the last 2 years, and he was a legit threat at linebacker. I mean, is he trying to do too much? Is he trying to prove he belongs? And is that getting him out of position? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say the kid's playing horrible, but he's not playing at the level that I thought he was going to take us over the top. Really, that's what was one of the things that I said. With him being inserted in at linebacker, that's going to be kind of that missing ingredient we've had for the last 3 years under Pete Golding. Him in, he knows the defense. It's just all he has to do is translate the terminology, if there was even a difference in the terminology from what Pruitt taught. But I haven't seen that translation yet for him to be. He's not playing at an elite level like I thought he would.
No, he's not, and it keeps being the case and it's been the case since Pete Golding's been there with the linebackers not playing at elite level. What is it? This defense is too complicated. I've heard that floated out a lot. And if that's the case, dude, why would you do that? You will get a clue after a time that I need to do something different. Well, that's the mark of a good defensive coordinator. Not even you don't even have to be a great. But and of course the wide receivers. And again, that kind of bugs me that we haven't been able to find, of the wide receivers we have, that some of the freshmen can't hit the field
Yeah.
as more than they do. Jalen Waddle hit the field when we had four of the greatest ones we've ever had at that time, and Jalen Waddle as a freshman managed to hit the field.
Yeah, well, I guess my question is, what happened to Ajay Hall? How could you have a spring like he had, and there's been no sighting of Ajay Hall. And then, of course, you have to ask your question, Robert, and I'll have to let you go after this, but let you get your response. Mechie, he's good, but we just see. I told someone the other day, I said, now you see just how good Devontae Smith was. when Waddle went down, Smith got more double teams and more brackets and more over the top coverages, and he got better. Mechie is the man, and he hasn't been able to. He's been okay, but he's not been elite like we've come to expect.
Yeah, that's you're right about Mechie. I've heard people say he's a really good number 2, great number 3 receiver. But he's not she's not your number 1 guy. You need to get your separation at a moment's notice, and defense have to constantly worry about.
Yeah.
And like I said, Hall, it's just really perplexing that the freshmen haven't been able to get on the field.
Yeah.
Like I said, Waller got on the field when there were 4 great receivers.
Right. Yeah.
So you guys can't get on the field with these not so great receivers. That's troubling as well.
Yep.
But I think Kurt did a great job.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. All right. Coming back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation for the coach of the day. If you want to get in on the conversation, you can call us at 205-342-9904. Remember, Alabama won. Refi your car, reduce your rate, and you will ride in comfort knowing that you have the best deal in town. That's Alabama One. Alabama1.org is where you can find out more about that refi, reduce, and ride promo. Match or beat your interest rate up to $250 back in 60 days, no pay. Best deal going right now, and you can take advantage of it by coming into one of our locations or going online and completing the application at Alabama1.org.
100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks or delays as we crank up our Wednesday morning drive. Just remember, if you do see conditions folks need to hear about, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with an amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama One, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com.
It takes 2 vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states, including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. As everyone knows, home values have skyrocketed. Chances are your home has gained a ton of equity. Why not use your home's equity to upgrade your house? How about a new pool in your backyard or a new kitchen? Turn your home's equity into cash with a cash-out refinance loan from Cash Call Mortgage. If your mortgage interest rate doesn't start with a 2, we may be able to lower your mortgage rate and get you cash. See just how low our rates are at cashcallmortgage.com. Get started on upgrading your house with a cash out refi from Cash Call Mortgage. For a free quote to see if you qualify, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call us today. Call 800-745-1952. That's 800-745-1952. 800-745-1952.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
You're back in with the best station in the state of Alabama, Tide 100.9, and the best show to start your day, the Martin Houston Show. Virgil Williams saying the defense is Saban's and not Golding's for the most part. So if you change the defense, then Saban has to change. Yep, absolutely. Chuck Hunt, I would make adjustments in the secondary and the offensive line. The defensive line had difficulties as well. And Matt Wiley saying, I don't have a major issue with Bill O'Brien. Yeah, he may had some boneheaded calls last week in the red zone, but I can get past those. Pete Golden is another story. I've been willing to give him a chance up until the Florida game this year. There are far too much talent on defense to be so out of position so often. At what point does it start hurting recruiting because of lack of development? Great question. I'd be making a short list to vet at season's end if I was a coach for a new DC. This is far from the Alabama standard, even in this new offensive era. That's Matt Wiley giving his thoughts and evaluations as the coach for the day. We got George from Macon. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. You're the coach for the day. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, a few comments, Martin. Thank you for taking my call. First off, the grade. I would give them a B, edging towards a B plus, and the reason it's a B or a B plus, Coach Saban mentioned what our problems were back in August with a lack of focus, and we're still having that problem. He hasn't corrected it. He knows what the problem is.
So hold on. Let me ask you this then. So if we saw that then, and we saw it week 1, week 2, week 3, especially against Florida, we saw it, and ultimately it led to a loss at A&M. What do you think is missing on this coaching staff that has not been able to get that, or is this what Bama needed for that to happen? And do you feel like, Alabama will be a more focused, better team moving forward?
Well, I think it will be a better team moving forward. I think probably the guys kind of, after the Florida game, kind of bought in, but not completely, because we won the game. And, like the sad thing about it, like Coach Saban said years ago, is, it's sad when you got to be punished before you're really ready to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they will be better. on the defensive side, Pete Golding is an easy target. I mean, there's got to be a reason that Coach Saban keeps sticking with him. I think half the problem with our defense is our defensive line. If you watch the play, a linebacker can roam when he doesn't get scraped or blocked. You know, your defensive line, you know, he's supposed to keep your guys in front of him, the guards and tackles and the centers, off of your linebackers. And that's not happening every time.
Yeah, and the way that works is there's not anything magic to that. The reason that works is that a guy requires a double team, right? But if you have three defensive linemen or two defensive linemen and Will Anderson out on the edge and another linebacker, and they have five guys that they could man up, then they're able to do some things. So you know, that's an interesting concept, I know, but do we have any of those guys that's requiring double teams right now?
I thought we did. I mean, I really thought that the defensive line was going to be the strength of our defense, but they've been a no-show. You know, I'm tired of hearing about LeBron Ray. You know, remember when he was a freshman? Oh, nobody can block him. Nobody can block him. And he's always hurt. And now, you know, I think he's been rehabbed and he's not hurt. But did you see him in the game last week?
I don't think he's healthy. I just think he's one of those kids that's gonna leave with it. I taught a message yesterday at a leadership thing. George, and I said, make sure you drop your pebble to cause a ripple effect. And the whole concept is don't keep your talent or your ability locked up in your hand. Byron Ray is going to be one of those guys, unless something changes, that's going to leave with his pebble still in his hand. I don't think we're going to get to see what he was really able to do because of injuries, and it's I don't think we've been told the whole story of what all he's battled.
You know, and I thought Tim Smith was gonna, you know, come out and do some great things. Same thing with Byron Young. You know, if you remember last year.
Hold on, let me ask you this: Do you not think that Tim Smith and Byron Young plays better than the guys who start in front of them?
No, I think that they played better. Yes, I did, but I don't think that they did it enough and consistently enough.
Right, and so once again, now that becomes a coaching question. Is to me, Tim Smith and Byron Young seem to be more disruptive when they're in, and to me, our best three is Byron Young, Tim Smith, and Mathis. But we don't see that three, I don't think, a lot.
I know, and I think what they're trying to do is I think that they know that for us to be elite, we got to have depth. And they're trying to develop depth because if you're not, you know, they play 60 or 70 plays and they're gassed.
Yeah.
You know, if you think back last year, our defense really started coming on when Barmore started being super disruptive.
Yep.
And he started taking more than one guy. So I think that our defensive line, I think we got the personnel, but we just don't have the maturity yet.
Okay.
In fact, I think our whole team, and we've been saying it and saying it and saying it. I'm not going to say that they're young, which they are, but I'm going to change it that they aren't mature. They aren't competitively mature.
Yeah.
To be able to sustain. You know, we seem to be able to play for about 30 minutes, and that's it. And it was, you know, Martin, the last 5 minutes of that game was heartbreaking to see that, you know, we didn't get it done. We weren't tough enough. You know, we weren't hardened enough to, you know, to pull it off.
And George, I'm gonna let you go after you respond to this. When we did not score, I mean, when we scored and they were down by a touchdown, did you feel like A&M was going to go down and score. And then when we didn't go down and get a field goal to break the tie, did you feel like A&M was going to score?
Yes, I did.
And so did I. So how did we feel that way after our defense played that great in the second half? I was still sitting there going, Jimbo Fisher is going to figure out a way to get a touchdown, and if they stop us, they're going to figure out how to get a field goal.
The reason I felt that way was really several things. One, we were trading off touchdowns for field goals.
Uh-huh.
We were dropping passes.
Uh-huh.
In a way, I can understand Bill O'Brien, and listen, I wanted to have the big package in there, and I wanted to jam it down their throat, but he was wanting to try to score quickly. And when Latua,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the tight end dropped the pass.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh my gosh. Then we got a little slide. I felt the slide for me, and I think the team or the offense, they started getting just a tad bit panicky.
Yeah.
And then started trying too hard, and then you start, each individual's trying to play hero ball, doing more than what they can do. And, what we saw the results. And McKinstry, I think that we need to start seeing a little bit more of him because I think he can cover man-to-man better than what we got.
All right, that's George from Macon. We might carry over this coach for another day. Thanks, appreciate you, George. Coming back on the other side, we'll wrap up things with our 2-minute warning with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries. The Johnson Martian Dentistry Christian Moment of the Week up next.
100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks or delays as we crank up our Wednesday morning drive. Just remember, if you do see conditions folks need to hear about, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with an amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. The city of Tuscaloosa has been awarded 2 Outstanding Planning Awards and a Distinguished Leadership Award from the Alabama chapter of the American Planning Association for 2021. Framework won an Outstanding Planning Award for Comprehensive Plan. Elevate Tuscaloosa won an Outstanding Planning Award for an Implementation Tool. And Mayor Walt Maddox won a Distinguished Leadership Award. The city will be recognized for these awards at the Mississippi-Alabama Joint Conference in Biloxi tomorrow. I'm Don Hartley.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
JCPenney's Fall Mystery Sale is here. How much will you save? Hurry in store to find out. You could get an extra 30, 40, or even an extra 50% off Thursday through Sunday with Peel and Reveal coupon while supplies last. And with your surprise savings, you can easily refresh your closet and home. New fall styles, great fall savings. JCPenney. Coupon valid through 10/17. Some exclusions apply. Coupon giveaway in store only while supplies last. Must be 18 or older. See store or jcp.com for details.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't know the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522. Don't wait. Call now. 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's now time for our weekly catch-up with Johnson Marshall Dentistry's Christian Moment of the Week and Scotty Hollins, the Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries, joining us. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing well. I know we got the highlight last week's winners are those who were chosen and selected and then get into diligence. So I toss it to you to show us how we can incorporate our faith into the boardroom, the classroom where our chosen field the play.
Absolutely. Well, we got a bunch of kids, young men, young ladies that we want to recognize again, as you just mentioned, Martin. If you're watching on our Facebook broadcast, or here's the newspaper. It looks pretty cool to see these kids in full color on the back of the sports page. Here are the kids we want to celebrate today, this week, as champions of character for the character quality of diligence. That's pretty awesome. Hey, Anglin Young, he's at Northridge Middle. We got Asia Tinker at Northridge High. Caleb Henry, Bryan High School. Kirsten Cossette, Bryan High School. We got Coleman Carr from Northridge High. We got Michaela Davis from Bryan High. We got R.J. Eaton from Eastwood Middle. Ryan Barden-Werfer, she is from Northridge Middle. Oliver Matthews, Central High School. We got Christian Curtis from Central High School. We got Michaela Patton, Westlawn Middle. Rodmiria Morgan from Eastwood Middle. We got Thomas Wolf from Northridge High. Zion Bishop Huntley, Westlawn Middle. Ranisha Barnes from Westlawn Middle. And Alexis Watkins from Northridge Middle. So, man, let's celebrate these kids as champions of character for the character quality of diligence. And so this week we're going to be looking at the character quality of enthusiasm. And so here's our definition for enthusiasm. Then I'll show it to you in the Bible. So our definition for enthusiasm is great excitement for a specific cause. Let me say that again. Enthusiasm, great excitement for a specific cause. And I want to just show you, and I can show you this all throughout the Bible, but you see, honestly, when you see someone who is doing what God's called them to do, a lot of times they do it with great enthusiasm. They have great excitement for the cause. And I'll tell you the cause, you got two different causes that you need to have great excitement for if what you're trying to accomplish will ever become a reality. First thing you got to have a great excitement for is the destination. All right, where are you trying to go? What's the goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Second thing is the process to actually get there. All right, now here's the cool thing. There's two destinations, or a greater destination, or the greatest destination, and then kind of a more tangible destination that you'll see in the pages of Scripture. The greatest destination that I see through godly men and what they're pursuing is their greatest destination is they want to honor and glorify God. That is the ultimate goal. No matter what they're trying to accomplish, that's their goal. They want to honor and glorify God, and they do that by focusing on trusting Him in the process and by completing the task. So today we want to look at my main man, Nehemiah. We're back on Nehemiah. I just can't. I really have been encouraged by his story. And as you guys know, Nehemiah was cupbearer to the king. I won't completely recap that, but he hears about the wall that had been broken down when Nebuchadnezzar came in and overtook the children of Israel and brought them to Babylon. All right, so 20 years has passed, so the 70 years have passed, so they've kind of been able to go back home, so to speak, and there's 20 more years have passed, so they've had plenty of time to rebuild the wall. The wall is not rebuilt. Nehemiah hears about that, and he's hurt, and so he asks the king, "Hey man, can I go back and lead a group of people back and rebuild this wall?" And so that's what he's doing. Well, he's halfway done with the project, Martin, and he's starting to get some adversity just from people just best thing I can call them is haters. Like Tobias, Sam Ballard, I don't know what else to call them. They just don't want to see this guy succeed. And so what we see is, ultimately they decide, Sam Ballard, Tobias, tell Nehemiah, hey man, come off that wall, man. We're gonna go to war with you. We're gonna fight you. Hey, listen to his focus, listen to his enthusiasm for God's glory, right? And his enthusiasm for completing that task. He says, I'm not coming down off this wall. What he ended up doing was he ended up setting a guard at the gate, and everybody who built with hammers in one hand, and guess what? A sword in the other. But they weren't going to stop the goal that God had set them towards, and they had great enthusiasm for that, and they completed that wall in 52 days.
Yeah, and it was their focus, and that's something we've been talking about on this radio station, that this team, Alabama, focus is so important, but it's the commitment or the passion to the goal that allows you to keep the focus. And if you got the right goal, and of course our goal is to glorify Jesus, then you can go through a lot of things and you'll make the right choices and right decisions. Tell them real quick where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. You go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. You can send me a message there. Come straight to my email.
Man, I want to challenge you today. What is it in your life that has you enthusiastic enough that you will go against the haters, put a tool in one hand and a weapon in the other, and get the job done in record time? It's Jesus for me. Who is it for you?
A weapon might be a Bible, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Sword of the Spirit, baby. All right. That's Scotty Hollins. I'm Martin Houston. Thank you so much for being a part of the Martin Houston Show. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths even when the enemy attacks. Roll Tide and have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the
Have a good one, Joe.
Tide 100.9 traffic.